Only Boost Mobile will give you a free year of service when you buy a new 5G phone.
Oh, like a BOGO.
A BOGO?
Buy one, get one. BOGO.
Well, technically, it's buy one phone, get 1 year. So, bop goy.
Ah, Bop Goy. Get the Boost Mobile Bop Goy deal.
Bop goy with Boost Mobile.
Bop Goy, Bop Goy, Bop Goy. This is the best idea we've ever had. When you purchase an eligible device, you get $25 off every month for 12 months with credits totaling 1 year of free service. Taxes extra for the device and service plan. Online only.
Ryan Reynolds here for Mint Mobile. You know, one of the perks about having 4 kids that you know about is actually getting a direct line to the big man up north. And this year, he wants you to know the best gift that you can give someone is the gift of Mint Mobile's unlimited wireless for $15 a month. Now, you don't even need to wrap it. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited. See mintmobile.com for details.
Only Boost Mobile.
Boost Mobile.
We'll give you a free year of service.
Free year?
When you buy a new 5G phone.
New 5G phone?
Enough.
But I'm your hype man. When you purchase an eligible device, you get $25 off every month for 12 months with credits totaling 1 year of free service. Taxes extra for the device and service plan. Online only.
Waiting for Heaven. I'm Jason Horton.
I'm Rebecca Lieb.
And this is Ghost Town.
On October 22nd, 1844, 100,000 Christians, mostly in New Hampshire, gathered on hillsides, in meeting places and fields, looking to the sky in anticipation. They were out there for one reason and one reason alone, to meet and greet their Lord and Savior Jesus Christ upon his glorious return to earth by way of the clouds in the sky. This historic day had been introduced to Christian devotees by a prophetic and revolutionary farmer from upstate New York named William Miller, who was certain from his studies of the Bible that Jesus Christ was going to appear on that very day. But he didn't. Today on Ghost Town, the sordid, controversial story of what history calls the Great Disappointment. In the early 1800s, really in the years right after the Revolutionary War, westward expansion is happening. But not just geographically, religious thought and ideology are also expanding across the plains and through the already established religious communities. They called it the Second Great Awakening, and, like the first, which took place in the American colonies in the 1730s and 1740s, it was a response to Enlightenment-style technological progress, an emphasis of religion and spirituality over science. This Second Great Awakening, however, came with a side of zealotry, emotional preaching, wild camp meetings, and fire and brimstone apocalyptic overtones. As one might imagine, the Second Great Awakening gave rise to a number of new religious sects in America's frontier, moving east to west. In fact, New York itself was known as the, quote, burned over district because so many revivalist preachers came from that area. The Second Great Awakening gave rise to some religious hits that still exist, and you might recognize, including the Seventh-day Adventists and Mormonism. Another sect was called the Millerites, founded by farmer William Miller. One day, Miller begins to read the Bible and gets to the book of Revelation when he's struck with a powerful idea. He knows when this book is going to happen. If you're a Jew like me and aren't exactly familiar with the book of Revelation, you are not alone. In a nutshell, the book of Revelation is the last book in the New Testament, and it is wild. Known as the Book of the Apocalypse, it is just that, a book that describes in detail how evil could, allegorically for the most part, engulf the world in great and wild detail, and it consists of 6 cycles of visions, each of which warns of the dangers arising from sin and evil. Yet each cycle also concludes by showing readers how to fight back. Spoiler, it is about having faith in God. Some passages include scorpions, lots of fire, flying Jews, and God, so much more. Basically, it's a nightmare scenario that may or may not occur, but it also includes the recipe on how to gain salvation if and when it does. So William Miller thinks the Book of Revelation is actually going to happen and how the events within it will unfold. In contrast to early interpreters, Miller argues that none of the Book of Revelation has happened yet. While other historians and spiritual leaders see events unfolding throughout Christian history's past to conclude in the distant future, Miller thinks the second coming of Christ will occur actually pretty soon in what he begins to call the Advent. In fact, that's what his movement comes to be known as, the Adventists movement. He thinks that the Advent, or the second coming of Christ, will occur in 1843. And then, in a fairly large leap of interpretation, he says that's when the 1,000 years, the millennium, will commence. So to simplify these kind of complex ideas that are already being simplified by me and are still kind of floating around, Miller thinks the book of Revelation hasn't happened yet, and after the return of Jesus Christ, it will. This new interpretation, where all of the events in the book of Revelation begin to occur only after Christ returns, and the millennium, the 1,000-year reign, is all known as premillennialism and becomes a fairly significant ideology in American religious history. Despite the Second Awakening being generally anti-technology, the Millerite or Adventist movement gained momentum through technology, including pamphlets and newsletters made through the high-speed printing press. From 1840 onwards, Millerism was transformed from an obscure regional movement into a national campaign. According to PBS.org, quote, Miller himself was not a great preacher. He was not a great evangelist. His meetings were more like lectures. He was a teacher, and he would turn people to the book of Daniel, and he would walk them through his system. And he was very fortunate in his lieutenants, particularly a man named Joshua Himes in Boston, who was a very skilled promoter and really turned the Millerite movement, helped to do it at least, into a mass phenomenon. Miller, in lots of stretches of reasoning, told his followers to look to the clouds for Jesus to come, and with some abstract calculations, ones that I don't truly understand, told all of his followers that Christ would return sometime between March 21st, 1843 and March 21st, 1844. Well, the year between March 21st, 1843 and March 21st, 1844 passed without Jesus arriving, but the Millerites kept their faith. Someone pointed out that Miller had neglected to take into account the transition from BC to AD, so his calculations were off. At this point, Miller took feedback and regrouped, did some new calculations, and adopted a new date for the coming of Christ, April 18th, 1844. Like the previous date, April 18th passed without Christ's return. In the publication The Advent Herald, the theologist and Millerite Joshua Himes wrote that all the, quote, expected and published time had passed, and admitted that they had been, quote, mistaken in the precise time of the termination of the prophetic period. Miller himself published a letter, quote, to Second Advent believers, writing, quote, I confess my error and acknowledge my disappointment, yet I still believe that the day of the Lord is near, even at the door. In August 1844, at a camp meeting in Exeter, New Hampshire, Millerite Samuel S. Snow presented a new interpretation to the congregation, which becomes known as the 7-month message, or the true midnight cry. In a complex discussion, Snow said that Christ would actually return, quote, on the 10th day of the 7th month of the present year, 1844. Using the calendar of the Karaite Jews, not sure what Karaite Jews are, a type of Jewish person, Miller determined this date, the date of the second coming of Christ, to be October 22nd, 1844. This 7-month message spread with a rapidity unparalleled in the Millerites' experience among the general population. They were excited, they had a new date, and baby, Revelations was on. More after this break.
Only Boost Mobile.
Boost Mobile.
We'll give you a free year of service.
Free year?
When you buy a new 5G phone.
New 5G phone?
Enough.
But I'm your hype man. When you purchase an eligible device, you get $25 off every month for 12 months with credits totaling 1 year of free service. Taxes extra for the device and service plan. Online only.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See detail.
To make switching to the new Boost Mobile risk-free, we're offering a 30-day money-back guarantee.
So why wouldn't you switch from Verizon or T-Mobile?
Because you have nothing to lose. Boost Mobile is offering a 30-day money-back guarantee.
No, I asked why wouldn't you switch from Verizon or T-Mobile?
Oh.
Wouldn't.
Because you love wasting money as a way to punish yourself because your mother never showed you enough love as a child?
Whoa. Easy there.
Yeah.
Applies to online activations. Requires port in and auto pay. Customers activating in stores may be charged non-refundable activation fees.
Ryan Reynolds here for, I guess, my 100th Mint commercial. No. I mean, honestly, when I started this, I thought I only have to do like 4 of these. I mean, it's unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. How are there still people paying 2 or 3 times that much? I'm sorry, I shouldn't be victim blaming here. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch. Whenever you're ready.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
Hi, hello. How are you?
Hello. How's it
We
going?
are checking in.
Check-in.
This is the check-in. We want to say hello to anyone who's listening, supporting us, spreading the good word of Ghost Town. We thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Many, many, many thanks this holiday season.
And most thankful to our government, including,
But not
and
limited
mostly,
to.
not limited to, but mostly
Actually,
limited to.
It is limited to. It's limited to.
It is limited to the mayors. Our mayors, once upon a time, were waiting for something to make a comeback. Sadly, it has not yet, but they waited. This mayor waited for the comeback of the pager. Why not? Retro, right? Less cumbersome.
Yeah. People can call you and you have to scramble to call them back.
Doctors would have it, so it had some kind of prestige.
Drug dealers, doctors, and high schoolers.
Well, it hasn't come back yet. Very sorry, Ashley Matson.
Hello.
This mayor was waiting for a certain soda to come back. There's been many failed sodas, but they were waiting for this soda to make a return. Or a cola, if you will.
I will not.
Neither will I. This mayor was waiting for the return of Pepsi Blue. Remember Pepsi Blue?
Nope.
Nope. I think it was maybe, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 years ago. Very short-lived Pepsi product.
Was it
hasn't come
blue?
back yet. Yeah, it had like a blue. I forget the deal with it, but it had like kind of like a different. I don't know if it had like the citrusy. I forget what it was. But that's a testament to what a failure it was. But this mayor is holding strong. Cat Joselle.
Hello.
This mayor is still holding on. Is not one to follow the crowd. Is waiting for the Zune. Zune. iPod, no thank you. iPad, no thank you. iPhone, get out of town. Give me my Zune.
Zune.
So I can put my MP3s on my Zune. Still waiting, still holding on. Kelly Meehan.
Hello.
This mayor is holding on for a chip. Oh yeah. A chip that was too good to be true. Maybe it'll make a comeback. The Wow chip made with Olestra or Olean. I think we've had to have talked about.
We've absolutely talked about this chip.
And I've eaten, because I was, caught up in all that kind of stuff. I was like, oh yeah, I can just eat 1 million of these. And I never really had an issue with it that I can remember, but I am sure that it had issues. I don't know if I believed in it so much. But yeah, Wow chips. Will they come back? And if they come back, will they be dangerous? I don't know. But I'll tell you who's holding on. Casey Weber.
Hello.
Someone's like, I love cinema. I don't want to watch it in digital format. VHS? No, thank you. Give me that Betamax, baby. Wants that Betamax, please.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the race between Betamax and VHS? Betamax got crushed. Got crushed to death. Holding on for that vintage cinema feel, Matthew Clemens LeRae.
Hello.
Now, we had a Pepsi product, and it wouldn't be fair because we are bipartisan when it comes to soda.
That is correct.
Probably one of the most classic failed products. New Coke. They were like, this Coke has been around since the late 1800s. People love it. Huh. How about something completely different? Let's just stop. Let's just stop the success train and have something else. And I think there is some conspiracy that New Coke was literally put out there to fail, just to reintroduce Coke Classic, just as like an this. I don't know if it's called organic, but a way to like, how do we repackage regular Coke again in a way that's going to cause some kind of like to shake things up a little bit? That's the conspiracy. I don't know if that's true, but then they introduced Coca-Cola Classic. So they just reintroduced the old soda again and gave it a different name, but it was the same soda. And people were so relieved because they were so mad about what they did. I'll tell you who's holding on for some of that new old Coke is Marissa Rothermel.
Hello.
This mayor is like, I love Google so much. But what about a little Google Plus? I need that social media aspect of Google because I don't get it enough from all the other places. Got to make new friends, got to lose some friends, got to make a big social media splash on Google Plus. Well, this mayor is holding on. He's like, I'm ready to reactivate my account anytime they let me. Mayor Chris Hernandez.
Hello.
And then our governor is part of a lineage that goes back to the creators of all products. If you look back, gets her 23andMe back, all it says is you're part Bayer, part Raytheon. Get this corporate thing. Monsanto, ExxonMobil. All these things come back on her 23andMe. Was there when all the products began and will be there when all the products end and beyond.
It's beautiful, really, if it wasn't so evil.
That would be, you know her. You love her because you have to, because she's the governor. Our governor, Avian Noble. If you want no ads, no chit-chat, bonus episodes, new one up now. Really weird. I spent a lot of time looking up the subject of this person. It really sent me down a rabbit hole. Really kind of messed up my day, actually, when I was editing this. But 7 days free. You want no ads, no chit-chat, brand new bonus episode. Head on over to patreon.com/ghosttownpod. You want to get back into it?
I was just gonna say, 'tis the season for our government are getting a Christmas gift. So if you want to be
Christmas
part of the
bonuses.
Yeah. They've got their own bonies coming.
You get to wear jeans this Friday and a little bag of potato chips.
That's right. Wear your Hawaiian shirt, but don't make the colors too crazy. Okay,
yeah,
we're talking primaries.
And just work some unpaid overtime.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
We'll give you a Nescafe hot cocoa for your troubles.
Yeah. All right, you want to get back into it?
Let's do it. With the help of his followers, farmer turned preacher and spiritual leader William Miller attested that on October 22nd, 1844, Jesus Christ would come to earth and the book of Revelations would officially begin. On October 22nd, 1844, people gave away clothes, objects, animals, their homes even, in anticipation for the big day. Crowds gathered throughout the Northeast United States at various places outside, peering expectantly up at the sky. Hours went by, and as nightfall descended, people began to get anxious. Then it turned to midnight, and Jesus Christ still hadn't made an appearance. People became even more restless, but stayed put until 2, 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and the first lights of morning began to appear. It was at that point that the disappointed and stunned crowds began to disperse. Clearly, Christ was not showing up. This crushing disillusionment among the Millerites after Christ did not show up on the 22nd came to be known as the Great Disappointment. In his book, When Time Shall Be No More, historian Paul Boyer offers an example of the deep sadness suffered by this wrong information. In the words of one tragically disappointed believer, quote, "Our fondest hopes and expectations were blasted, and such a spirit of weeping came over us as I never experienced before. We wept, and we wept, till the day dawned." Henry Emmons, a Millerite, later wrote, quote, "I waited all Tuesday, and dear Jesus did not come. I waited all the forenoon of Wednesday, and was well into body as I ever was, but after 12 o'clock I began to feel faint, and before dark I needed someone to help me up to my chamber, as my natural strength was leaving me very fast. I lay prostrate for 2 days without any pain, just sick with disappointment." The Great Disappointment clearly threw the Adventists into a tailspin. Not only did Millerites have to deal with their own beliefs being inaccurate, but they faced considerable criticism and even violence from the public. Miller, of course, got the worst of it, feeling extremely humiliated by everyone around him. On November 18th, 1844, Miller wrote, quote, "Some are tauntingly inquiring, 'Have you not gone up?' Even little children in the streets are shouting continually to passerby, 'Have you got a ticket to go up?' The public prints, of the most fashionable and popular kind, are caricaturing in the most shameful manner of the white robes of the saints, Revelation 6:11, the going up, and the great day of burning. Even the pulpits are desecrated by the repetition of scandalous and false reports concerning the ascension robes, and priests are using their powers and pens to fill the catalog of scoffing in the most scandalous periodicals of the day." Both Millerite leaders and followers didn't know where to go from there. Responses varied. Some continued to look daily for Christ's return, while others predicted different dates, among them April, July, and October 1845. Millerite J.D. Pickens used Revelation 14:14 to 14:16 to teach that Christ was now sitting on a white cloud and must be prayed down to earth. However, most people walked away from their Adventist faith completely. Some simply returned to the religious sects they had originally followed, some joined the Shakers. Wherever they ended up, lapsed and current Millerite followers were confused, embarrassed, and sad at something they thought was in fact so painfully real. Miller, having renounced his prophecy studies after the Great Disappointment, but still believing a second coming was upon him, died on October 20th, 1849. Though at the peak his following could be estimated to be between 50,000 and 500,000, in 1849 there were but a few thousand Millerites left. Ultimately, a variety of groups arose from the ashes of the Millerite camp, including some we still see today, the Jehovah's Witnesses, for example, and the Seventh-day Adventists. But as with William Miller's failed calculations, there is still, of course, immense amount of speculation and discourse around the order of our universe, and of course the theology around that. But, like many Bible-based creations, history might not want to forget the Great Disappointment, as it is a hard lesson learned. A beautiful mirage in a sea of broken expectations.
Only Boost Mobile.
Boost Mobile.
We'll give you a free year of service.
Free year?
When you buy a new 5G phone.
New 5G phone?
Enough.
But I'm your hype man. When you purchase an eligible device, you get $25 off every month for 12 months with credits totaling 1 year of free service. Taxes extra for the device and service plan. Online only.
This holiday season, when you can't be there, let 1-800-Flowers.com deliver. At 1-800-Flowers, every gift is crafted with care and designed to make spirits bright. From classic holiday bouquets and unique one-of-a-kind designs to gift bundles you can't find anywhere else, 1-800-Flowers makes it easy to stay connected, no matter the distance. Just a few clicks and your thoughtful gift is on its way. Visit 1-800-Flowers.com/ACAST to deliver joy, beauty, and celebration this holiday season.
231. That's the average number of apps used by many companies. This leads to a lot of context switching that can distract employees and costs your company. Luckily, Grammarly can help. Grammarly's AI works in over 500,000 apps and websites, making it easy for your team to crank out clear, on-brand emails, documents, messages, and more. In just one click, they can go from blank page to first draft, all without leaving the page they're on. Grammarly has 15 years of experience building effective, secure AI that can be implemented in days with minimal IT overhead. It goes beyond basic grammar to help tailor writing to specific audiences, whether that means adding an executive summary, fine-tuning tone, or cutting out jargon. Join 70,000 teams who save an average of $5,000 per employee per year using Grammarly. Go to Grammarly.com/enterprise to learn more. Grammarly. Enterprise-ready AI.